Okay, tonight's cook is something a little different. If you like to play around with your kettle grill and you like to experiment, here you go, because I'm experimenting. I've never done this before, never seen it done before. Well, I'm sure they do this, but I've never done it, never seen it done on a kettle grill before. What I want to do is I want to do a pork shoulder. I'm going to use a fresh picked ham, not a Boston butt, and I want to cook it open pit style, so directly over the hot coals. I want to do that for about 2 hours, and then I want to finish it off indirect, and looking at an internal temp of 180 degrees when I'm done. I want a tenderness of a pork roast, not pulled pork. So I want to try this, and then we'll see how it comes out. I thought I'd take a video or make a video of it. And remember, now my videos are mostly about how you set your kettle grill up for different types of cooks. So this is what this is about. It's basically about that more than it is to cook. But if you like the way it turns out, I'll let you know how it comes out. Then you can try this on your own. Okay, the piece of meat for this cook is a fresh picked ham, not a Boston butt. This is fresh picked ham. The only prep I'm going to do to this is the fresh picked ham has this fat cap on the bottom. I'm going to trim that off. Normally for pulled pork or just even do a regular roast, you leave this on. But since I'm going to be doing this over the coals direct, I want to brown all the meat. If I leave that fat cap on it, I just want to drip down in there. That won't let the heat really penetrate the meat and do anything. So that's the only prep I'm going to do is cut off its fat cap best I can. And here's the setup for the cook. That's my fuel supply, which is the unlit coal. I don't know, I'm guessing that's about 70 or 80 unlit coal. And the heat source sitting on top. I counted them out for the sake of this video. That's 30 hot coal. I have them spread out kind of sparsely as I can do that with the amount I have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the lid on, set both vents to just cracked, and I'm going to give it 15 to 20 minutes. And I want to throw the roast on and see how it's cooking, and I'll adjust. If I need a little more heat, I'll adjust it with the vents. Okay, here we are, 32 minutes into the cook. All I did was, once the grill was ready, is I just threw the pork on, and I've been turning it and moving it around about every 10-15 minutes, something like that. Maybe not, maybe about 7 or 8 minutes. Anyway, so I just started mopping it with, all I have is some vinegar, apple cider vinegar and water. I just started mopping it, so we're going to do that for a while. And I'm going to keep some moisture in it. Sitting over top of the direct coals like that will dry it out. So, all right, let me get the lid on here. I don't want the coals to get too hot. All right, here we are. We just passed the 1 hour mark. And what I want to show you here is how I help control the temperature on my grill. If you look here, we're sitting at 250 degrees. Now I use this just as a gauge, right? And I mean, all grills are going to be a little different. If some people's gauges might be 15 or 20 or even more degrees off than mine, high or low. So I mean, you just use these things as a gauge. Now this has been sitting about 275. It's been cooking a little hot. So what I did was at the 50-minute mark, and I've been flipping the chicken about every 5 to 7 minutes on average. To get the temperature drop, what I did was I pulled it in direct, and I went to 10 minutes, and it dropped it down to about 250. So I want to go 2 hours on this direct, and I don't want it to burn. So using this again as a gauge, I'm thinking I want about 225 every time I flip this, and I go to reflip it. It should be sitting about 2 1/4. But again, you don't go by this strictly. You kind of go by how hot the coals are. So anyways, I want to show you what we have here. So we're at the 1 hour mark. And I pulled it in direct, like I said. And I got the coals to drop a little bit, so I'm just going to take this thing. I'm just going to move her back. And I just flip her around here. You always have hot spots. I move it left, right, whatever. But she's looking good. I mean, it's brown. I want this thing to be good and brown at the other 2 hour mark before I go in direct. So it's looking good. I'm afraid if I let it too high for another hour, it might get a little too brown. So I want to drop that temperature a little bit for the last hour. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some more mopping sauce on there and continue to cook for another hour. I'll see you in a little while. Okay, now here we are at the hour and 25-minute mark, 26-minute mark. And you see how we dropped down to 2 1/4 where I wanted it. That's what I mean by how you can adjust a temperature on these things. And what I meant by that is I got the temperature to drop using a method other than using the vents. Since this is a direct cook, all I did was not remove the lid. I let the lid stay on a little bit longer, and letting that lid stay on longer allowed the coals to calm down a little bit, which dropped the temperature down to 2 1/4. So that's just another way that you can control the temperature on these things. Okay, here we are. Move the watch around so you can see it. A little past the 2 hour mark. This thing's been sitting indirect or direct the whole time. Hey, look at that, nice and brown. It's not burnt. It's not burnt on the bottom side either. All I'm going to do is check the temperature on this thing. Yeah. See how close we are. Oh, got a bone there. Nope. There we go. I have no idea what this is going to be. I've never done one of these before. So 2 hours sitting directly with the coals on a low fire. We're looking at about 135 degrees. All right. I want 180. Okay, now as far as the coal goes, kind of hard to see in there. I don't know how much hot coal we're going to have. I could not put too much of a bed of unlit coal in there because it would make it'd come up too high, too close to this thing, and would end up burning. So I might have to add coal to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the top and bottom vents to 3/4 and throw the lid back on. And what I want is about a 325 degree temp. We'll see if we can get that. If not, then we'll plan accordingly. Okay, while the roast is sitting here indirect, finished cooking, we're coming to temp. What I did was I schmutzed it one last time with the vinegar water on top and bottom. Then I added, I just sprinkled some, let's see, garlic powder, black powder, salt, Goya, all-purpose seasoning, paprika, and that sugar in there. I just sprinkled that on it, and I'm going to throw the lid on top and see how it comes out. Okay, we're at the 3 hour mark, 3:02. Sitting at 300 degrees. This thing's been fluctuating between 3 and 350. Actually, the high point was 350. It's dropped down. So, okay, we're at 3 hours. Let's see what this thing's reading and how it's looking. Oh, looking good to me. All right, now here's the digital thermometer. Let's see what this thing says. I want 180. Oops. 158. See it over here on this side. 165 is all you need to be done. Trying to check for tenderness. 167. Yeah, pretty tender actually. Oh, there we go. 174. Maybe this thing's malfunctioning here. I don't know. Let me grab the other one and see how that reads. Okay, 3.5 hours since pork roast been on. We're sitting at 3 1/4, right where I want to be. I don't want to take the lid off and look at it because I don't want to lose any heat. Because I bet the coal is probably starting to die. So, all right, I'll check in 4 hours. This thing should be done. That's 30 minutes from now. I'll see you then. Okay, here we are at the 4-hour mark. We're sitting at about 260, 265. Temperature's dropping. We're losing our heat. Pork should be done. We're going to take a look at it here. Let's see. Okay. I think we're done. And there's 178. One about 180, something like that. Okay. We're done. 4 hours. Turn that off. Going to let her sit, and we'll see how she is. Okay, I'm very happy with this cook. Everything turned out great. I got that open pit flavoring that I wanted to sitting over top of them coals. The outside of the roast, I wouldn't call it bark, but it's a nice little kind of crunch to it. The only thing I'd do different is next time I would add a little seasoning to the mopping sauce when I mopped it. But it turned out really great, and it was tender, it was moist. The tenderness was about like you get with a pork roast, not pulled pork. I mean, it was only cooked 180, not 200, 205. So you didn't have that, it wasn't real tender. But it was tender enough that it was nice and moist, and it made a great sandwich. So I'm happy with the way this thing turned out. I will do it again.